Leadership development, conflict resolution. Conflict is an ever-present issue in every aspect of life. When faced with opposing views, beliefs, and/or morals, particularly in the work environment, a respectful and effective approach to resolve the conflict is imperative to arrive at the most desirable outcome for all involved. Having the ability to work through conflict is a necessary skill that leaders must either possess or acquire. What is conflict? Conflict is a catalyst for change. It could be positive or negative. It is a disagreement of values or beliefs within oneself or between people that has the potential to cause harm if unresolved or stimulates change for a more favorable outcome if effectively addressed. There's intrapersonal conflict, interpersonal conflict, and organizational conflict as listed below. There are also 4 stages of conflict: frustration, conceptualization, action, and outcomes. Action step number 2, perform a conflict self-assessment. The conflict self-assessment is on page 437 in Yoder-Wise, and it proposes that there are 5 different approaches to resolving conflict: collaborating, competing, compromising, accommodating, and avoiding. My preferred conflict approach is compromising. I received a total score of 19, and trailing right behind were collaborating and accommodating. Action step number 3, communication, style, effectiveness, and self-assessment. Carl Jung's 4 psychological functions: sensation, intuition, thinking, and feeling. I found that I was a sensation-feeling style person. There's the strengths and weaknesses listed below, and if you'd like to take the test, the link is included. Action step number 4, identify ineffective methods of communication. And here are some communication barriers that are listed on the slide. Action step number 5, identify evidence-based interventions to effectively resolve conflict. One particular type of conflict that is prevalent among nurses is lateral, also called horizontal violence. This is characterized by intimidating or disruptive behaviors in the workplace carried out by fellow coworkers. One study found that 85% of nurses surveyed had experienced horizontal violence. So how do we combat this? We can institute and enforce a zero-tolerance policy against violence, be assertive and confront disruptive behavior, empower others with information, opportunities, resources, and support, and seek out these qualities in a place of potential employment. Address practitioner impairment, such as substance abuse, mental disorders, and do that with administration and/or management. When a conflict derived from ineffective communication occurs, you can use Stone's 5-step model. First, ask yourself how this issue is going to impact you and what it is at stake. Gain a clear, strong understanding of how you feel about the situation, and obtain all of the facts about the situation from as many sources as possible. Determine what your purpose is, and if it is wise to raise the issue. Is it the best way to resolve the issue? How can learning or problem-solving result? Use language consistent with third person, like a neutral party. Avoid blame and listen intently. Acknowledge feelings, ask questions, and paraphrase to ensure understanding. At this point, problem solving can begin. Mutually beneficial solutions should be identified, always by supporting them with evidence and practice standards. Devise a plan that enables you both to allow communication lines to stay open for the future. So what has been accomplished? Defining conflict has helped me recognize it, compartmentalize each stage, identify different categories of conflict. Conflict self-assessment created a foundation. I discovered my preferred approach is compromising. I determined when this approach is effective and when it is not, and I identified when other approaches should be used. Communication style self-assessment. Determine style, I'm a sensor-feeler, and determine the strengths and weaknesses of that. Identify ineffective methods of communication. I identified barriers, learned ways to avoid barriers. Identify evidence-based interventions to effectively resolve conflict. I discovered Stone's 5-step model to conflict resolution, which is organized and thorough. How can I monitor my progress? Keeping a log of each conflict that I encounter, how it was approached, how I felt about the way I handled it, and what the outcome was will help me achieve my ultimate goal of becoming an effective conflict resolver. Taking time to reflect on the processes and outcomes of each logged conflict will allow me to monitor my progress for the future. How will I know when my main goal has been accomplished? When the positive outcomes and feelings outweigh the negative outcomes and feelings surrounding each conflict, I will know that I have accomplished my goal of becoming an effective conflict resolver. Conflict resolution is not just a career skill, it is a life skill. I hope to be blessed with having the ability to form and maintain many more positive relationships as a result of my newfound skills and knowledge. Thank you.